All right, everybody. Chowder, do the recap. Or do we actually want to roll dice and see if that's what happens?
I got a 13.
I got a 19.
10.
These are
thank God, 'cause I don't remember what happened last
These are high numbers.
Painfully so.
I forgot my dice. I was going to just roll on the computer.
How did you forget your dice?
I had to move upstairs.
You can't be rolling on the computer. So you bring the dice with you.
It's okay, guys.
15.
Chowder got a 15. With
bad.
everybody in the double digits, I was pretty worried for you, bud. But hey, Mr. Matthew McCanavan.
Ew.
What happened in the last Mick episode?
Matthew McCanavan, driver of the Dodge Caravan.
Okay, so last time on Dice Populi, we have a tearful reunion, and by tearful, not really. We reunite on Farpoint. As we are going through Farpoint and, reliving the glory days, we discover a voice that is originating from a wizard crab named Lord Rangoon, who has taken residence on the island. He's trying to get back to his family, which I don't exactly remember where his family was, but he just wanted to get off the island, right? He was looking to make pals with the people who had come to his, quote, island. But I think Maeve was getting a real sussy feeling about Lord Rangoon. And so she ends up doing a little bit more exploring and finds out something or other. I'm going to fast forward a bunch because I don't really remember.
Oh, yeah.
But long story
a lot
short,
of it was just role play.
Yeah. The dragon kind of somehow throws the crab off the cliff, and it was spooky as fuck. And now we're like, damn, now we have to go to the bloody inflamed sphincter of hellish anal suffering at 7:00 on the map.
That's pretty much right. Yeah, the same words and voice that you heard that threw bait off the cliff in around episode 3 apparently just threw Lord Rangoon off the cliff for about the 5th time as he tried to con his way onto your ship for a free ride onto your shrimp.
If I remember correctly, that was the voice of the half-orc guy, right?
Well, you killed the Far Lord. And then his dead body. Lord. Yeah, and then after you killed him, he came back up and did that. So now you have a sense that it wasn't him reanimating, but instead the dragon exercising some sort of power. The important final detail is that because you were able to distinctly observe the voice of Lee, the dragon, god of balance, you were able to use the map of scrying, spending the all-in coin to finally discern its location. As Matt said, the 7:00 on the map, the big spooky cave that Pat pointed out like a year ago, and you guys were like, that's probably nothing.
This here moist cave.
I would like to find Belle's body if it is still there.
Jeddah, Maeve, and Locke, you have all discerned the location of the dragon on the map, and begin to sort of like frustratedly, as you're ping-ponging around the Badlands, realize like, okay, now we got to go somewhere else, and begin to make your way back on the ship. But Kalt seems to linger, even letting Jerry walk further ahead. Please roll investigation for me, Kalt.
Oh, okay, I'm hella good at investigation. 15.
With a 15, you manage to slink off to the side, back behind some of the crumbled towers from your initial confrontation here, roughly a year ago. Are you trying to hide the fact that you're lingering, or do you not give a shit what anyone thinks?
Oh, Kalt never gives a shit.
Yeah, I was about to say, saying it out loud, that was a dumb question. You poke around and...
Maeve would like to follow.
Okay, so Locke and Jeddah and Jerry, unless you say otherwise, you begin to sort of make your way down the path. But Maeve, you skip over to follow Kalt around the back side of the crumbled tower, where you initially felled the Far Lord, and where the Far Lord felled Belle. You look around, and you do not see any bones, any remains, any clothes. It seems like the area has been tidied up. Again, on your way in, you notice some of the work that Lord Rangoon did, making the place his own over the past several months, presumably. And it seems as though he decided to tidy up the corpses. So in this area, you don't find anything.
Hey, Kalt, what are you looking for here?
Well, I was curious if Bell was still here. You know Bell, our first friend, perhaps, in the Badlands.
Oh, yeah, I do miss Bell. Were you gonna bury his body?
Yeah. You kind of see, yeah, sure, yeah.
Roll deception?
Yeah, okay. I honestly, I rolled deception just for fun.
I'll just roll with it. Don't even bother.
I think I'm leading on quite heavily.
Yeah, I totally believe you. Because I do have a very good insight, but okay, well I'll help you look for his body. It'd be nice to bury him and put him to rest.
Yeah, put him to rest, and then under my breath be like, or to work.
From the distance, heading down the path, Kalt, you hear, Dad, are you coming?
1 minute, my boy. 1 minute. I just need to see about you gotta see about a giant.
Fine, I'm going back to my room. Locke and Jerry sort of like briskly walks ahead of you down the path. It's a little bit of a hike to get back down to the ship. Do you linger? Do you head to the ship to get things prepared for your for the next leg of your journey? What do the two of you do?
I'm going back to the ship. Let's get ready for the next leg of the journey. Like, Jerry's got the right idea here.
Locke, I do want to remind you that at the end of these last few episodes, you sort of pieced together that whatever this lingering Ghost Rider faction of the Black Tide is, that they are tied to the location of the dragon. It seems to be where they're active. You can see it on the map. And it's been a while since you've talked to Tony Lyons, but at this point, it seems very clear that the Black Tide has had ties to this sort of situation for longer than you realized.
No, as we go back, I'm just going to be looking at the map and, trying to chart the course that I think is best, I guess.
Okay. So for those listening that can't see the map directly, we've got this posted in our Discord. It's available on socials and stuff if you want to take a look. Right now, everyone is by Farpoint, and Locke begins drawing, scratching a few lines with his nail on the map, going from Farpoint down to the island just south of it. And it seems like there's a very large bay, a large inlet, from which the cave is accessible.
I am going to ask Locke, do you think we should just go in a straight line, like land and then walk the rest of the way, or try to go around and use the water to get into the cave?
I think we're probably at a bigger disadvantage when we're ship-bound, because, correct me if I'm wrong, the Friendship does not have any armaments.
The Friendship does not. However, you do have the Liberty.
We do have the Liberty.
And the Liberty did just get upgraded with reinforced hull, which doubles its HP.
Well, then, yeah, we should probably stay in the ship as long as possible.
Okay, so we'll take the water, go around the little peninsula thing, and move into the bay, and then hopefully we can take the ship in the cave, or at least park.
If we can, at least, yeah.
Hopefully there aren't parking meters.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that parking meters don't exist in this place.
At that, we're going to cut back to Kalt and Maeve. You guys have circled around from the crumbled tower over into the northern edge of the cliff near the cages where you were initially kept. Most of them have been turned over. Some have been worn and weathered. Some still have rocks on top of them with skeletons inside. Unmoved from your initial encounters here upon the island, worn down by winds, dust, water, and time. Looking around further, Kalt, if you'd like to roll investigation once again, you may certainly do so.
I'm going to guide myself.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to help so that you have advantage.
Go for it.
Okay. All right, so it was a 17 plus a 3 plus a 9, so a 29, please, and thank you.
With a 29, you are very quickly moving by each cell. With zero sentimentality, you step over the very places you first awoke here, screaming at Edmund and Locke, and finding Maeve in a corner, and just keep on trucking until you get toward the overturned ship that served as Bell's little hut. And in here you can find a large pile of remains in various states of decay. It seems that Lord Ragoon took a bit of a shoving everything in the closet approach. I'd say between smell and sight, you have no problem finding this pile, though what in here belongs to Bell, to the Fire Lord, or to the other victims of your initial blaze, I'm not sure you can tell at a glance.
Well, that will make burying him very difficult, I suppose.
Maybe you step up behind him and you see the same pile of remains.
These nuts.
Nice. I think, well, if we can't bury him, then should we just, like, burn the bodies? Like, so that other things don't eat them?
I guess we could burn the bodies. It was just, maybe we could fish out some of the bigger bits.
And why would you do that?
Just...
you mean like what you wanted to do with Belle's head, right?
She looks at Kalt with like, really, dude, eyes.
Yes, I wanted.
I'll say that Maeve's weathering glares as a small child always kind of bounced off you, but now that she's like a teen with stature almost matching yours and like a more mature face, there's a little more intensity behind it that may actually connote some awkwardness.
I wanted Jerry to have a big brother. Literally. I wanted a massive brother that could crush skulls. But I guess, whatever.
Maybe we could find Belle's family at some point in the future.
Kalt looks at you like kind of surprised. Well, it seems a little dark for you, but yeah.
What do you mean, dark? Like, we just find Belle's family.
Well, yeah. Did you... I took that as meaning that we would kill one of them and turn them into an eternal servant of...
What? No,
undead.
What?
Oh, okay, no, we're talking past each other. We're saying different things.
You're jumping past the point of talking to them, and you're just already planning to kill them.
Well, no, I know, that's why I was surprised. I thought you were planning to kill them. I was just going to wait for a convenient funeral.
Convenient, okay.
All right, well... No point in crying over spilled giant, and I'm going to cast Disintegrate on the pile of bones.
Kalt, as you do this, I'm going to give you one chance to potentially alter or amend that action, because you begin to cast Disintegrate, and the top layer of sort of grime and cloth starts to blow away in the sea wind, and it reveals at the core of the pile... I'm going to ride your exceptional investigation check from a moment ago and say that you catch a glimpse of several bones next to each other, and it is extremely clear which bones are the size of a giant's and which are the size of a person's.
Oh yeah, I'll start to do it. My finger glows. Wait, I see a big bone, and I'm going to start walking forward.
Okay. Well, we can bury the bones, or maybe like one of those funerals out on the sea or something.
Or what would you think Belle would like more? To be buried at sea, blah, that gross. Or to be with his friends forever, or until he's perishes again. Or until I forget to concentrate on the spell.
Can I ask you something else?
Sure.
Have you talked to Jerry?
Yeah, I talk to him all the time. Duh.
Okay. Well,
I'm literally his dad.
He's not, the happiest, right? Because, he's smarter now, and he knows that, you killed his original self and all that. And it's kind of, coming to terms. And it's imagine if, a big giant found out that. And we were on a small boat in the middle of the water.
Well, no, I wouldn't
sound very smart.
I wouldn't make Belle smart. Belle would stay dumb. And, Maeve, let's be honest, nobody's happy. That's a completely normal thing to be unhappy all the time. I killed my former self. I have to deal with my own murderer all the time, up in here. And he kind of points his head.
Okay, well, I guess whatever feels best for you, Kalt. I'll leave you to it then. And Maeve's going to walk away and head towards the boat.
Cool. I'd say that at a brisk pace with a light jog, you very easily catch up to Jerry, Locke, and Jeddah. Kalt, what do you do?
Well, no, maybe there is some logic into that. God, she's right, and now she's taller. I'm going to say, just in my mind's eye, all this stuff is resting on a boulder, and it's all kind of sloped down. I'm just going to disintegrate the boulder and watch all the bones fall into the sea.
You disintegrate the boulder, and it creates a small cascade where some of the material is caught in the wind, some rolls off the cliff, and some falls on the dirt. You've scattered the remains of so many people, including that which was left of Bell the Giant, your original emancipator here at Farpoint.
Just fucking just a waste of good bones. I'm gonna walk away.
Okay. On the deck of the Liberty, Bottle Brew is pacing anticipatorily. You guys have been gone not too long, maybe 2 to 3 hours with the amount of time it took to walk up, to talk to Ragoon, and to do your investigation and walk back. So maybe 2 hours or so. And he is very anxious, saying,
Listen, were you able to find any information here? Because Ragnar says that there are a lot of ships swinging down from the north. And if the Black Tide's splinter faction is ahead of us, we might find ourselves in the middle of a ship sandwich. So charting a course would be ideal.
He's talking with Locke and Jeddah, right?
Yeah, Locke and Jeddah leading the party.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Bottle Brew just says that Zula has tipped them off that there's movement.
All right, so there's movement, and we're gonna be like, where are they coming from again?
As far as I know, we have some ships coming in from the north. Do you know exactly where it is we're headed? I'm guessing you didn't find the dragon here, otherwise you wouldn't be back so soon.
Yeah, no, you see this, like, very distinctive-looking cave over in this corner right here?
Yeah, that is distinct.
That's where we want to be, so we're gonna move east and then back around so that we get into this cave, you know? So we should be able to avoid the Mage Lords, yeah.
Bottle Brew is going to look up at Locke, Kalt, and Maeve and say, like,
are you good with this? Because we need to get moving soon. Want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah, whatever's fine. Stupid bones in the sea. Stupid bullshit. Get out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
Stupid teenager Maeve.
Yeah. As you're saying stupid teenager Maeve, Jerry, like, brusquely walks by you and goes downstairs.
I take the parking stick and put it into drive. Or I guess rear, turn the ship, and then into drive.
Yeah. So at everyone's acknowledgement, he turns around, he swirls his finger in the air and lets out a big whistle and says,
all right, everybody, sails down. Let's go. Follow this lady's course.
And Jeddah, if you walk up to near the steering column and you show them exactly where we're headed on the map, the crew of the Liberty continues to pace, adjusting the rigging, opening the sails, and beginning your journey south, further towards the cave in which you've been told this dragon resides. Locke, Dennis is going to approach you and say, well, we have had tips from Zula regarding the status of the Mage Lords and their positioning. I do remain concerned about the varying loyalties of different ship captains in the area. Do you happen to have any insight into the motivations of the Ghost Riders and their role in safeguarding this particular location?
All I know is after we kind of overthrew the old Black Tide boss, there was a little bit of a power vacuum that the person we left in charge wasn't able to fully grasp control of, and this is the dragon, or the Ghost Riders are a splinter off group of that, but I don't know exactly what they want or what their motivations are.
The person you left in charge, as I recall, was Tony Lyons, whom we spoke to at his hideout several weeks ago.
Yeah, that's correct.
When was the last time that you spoke to Tony Lyons? I have not interacted with him since then.
Also that time.
Dennis furrows their brow and takes a beat and then says, do you think perhaps it would be prudent to correspond with this gentleman? And do you still have the sending stone with which to do so? The answer is yes, you do.
Yeah, but do you want to?
Well, that's the question.
I just don't really know. I feel like Tony might be mad at me for giving him a whole bunch of work. So I've been kind of dreading calling him specifically to be like, hey man, sorry for completely destroying your life, but...
Dennis is going to take another rather condescending beat and say to you, as I understand it, you have stated that the Mage Lord's ultimate goal is to gain control of the flow of time to ensure that their authoritarian reign is not just limited to the mainlands, but also to the lands beyond within each tear. And in terms of tactical intelligence, you would deem that less of a priority than your own discomfort in a social situation.
Yeah, that's pretty much right. So, I mean, I can give the stone to you. You want to talk to him?
Dennis extends their hand to you.
I will drop the stone in Dennis's hand.
Dennis, without moving and without breaking eye contact, activates the stone and says, "This is Dennis and Mr. Locke of the Liberty."
Why did you have to say my name?
Reaching out to Tony Lyons. There's a moment of silence as you stare daggers at Dennis. Dennis raises an eyebrow and just says, "Frankly, I value the gravity of the situation over your own social misgivings. Apologies."
I don't think you're really that sorry.
Dennis just keeps talking into the radio. "This is Dennis of the Liberty and Mr. Locke calling for Tony Lyons." And it's a little bit of radio static and a little bit of silence that hangs in the air until eventually a voice comes through saying,
"Oh my God, this thing's been dead. Hello? This thing's been dead for weeks. Mr. Locke! Mr. Locke! Dennis? Is that you? Come in."
Dennis actually holds the sending stone out, pointing it at you, not for you to take it, but pointing it at you so that you can be heard into it.
Yeah, what's going on? Long time no talk. Hope everything's going well with you.
Well, I mean, last I talked to you, you were headed to Arianor. Why the radio silence? I've been scraping together a fleet, and I gotta say, think you'll be pretty impressed.
We're just so busy, man, there's...
I mean, yeah, me too. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I didn't want to bother you, it seems like you had a lot on your plate, but I trusted you to handle it, because, we go way back, right? Like, you and me, there's almost nothing that could come between this friendship, right? Yeah.
No, there's not. I don't even know why you would bring it up. Did I do something? Are you mad at me?
No, I'm not mad at you. I was
Locke, if you're mad at me about something,
Nope.
you can lay it out on the table. I've been doing my best to do right by you.
No, you're totally good, and we're totally good. And as long as you ain't got no problems with me, I ain't got no problems with you. So that's great to hear. Yeah, Dennis, why don't you just ask the question that you really wanted to ask? And that's why we started this conversation in the first place.
I don't think I've ever heard you talk this fast when you're not hopped up on gabagool.
Well, we did find a plug recently.
Sorry, that caught me off guard.
That did catch
also
me off
some
guard
shellfish,
as well.
which was very strange.
Very strange. Well, listen, actually, I think it's good that we're talking. Last we spoke, I was aware of the Ghost Riders, and I have learned some world-shattering shit that I think everybody needs to hear. Where are you located right now? Are you still up by Arianor?
No. We are on Farpoint currently.
What the heck? That is the clear opposite side of
Well, we just left
Someone give me a
Farpoint.
map! What the fuck?
Okay,
That's so,
we might not be on
100
Farpoint, but we're close.
That's so many. That's really far away, my guy. Okay. Well, we were headed north to try to. Okay, we can swing south, but it'll take a little while to get there. But is that weird, half drunk, fat ass captain around with you? I'm not saying he's an obese man, but the dumper on the fella is remarkable.
Is Bottle Brew in earshot of this?
Bottle Brews with Jeddah.
Did you just compliment your own character, you asshole?
We just talked about the bubble butt, yeah.
Yeah, you guys were talking about how he has a gigantic ass. I'm trying to lean into the canon. I mean, I had to accept the greasiness of bait. I guess, sorry that Bottle Brew was cursed with a righteous dumper.
We really haven't been utilizing how bouncy his butt is. We could have been, throwing stuff off of him.
Yeah, you could have bounced an all-in coin off of that. Bottle Brew is up by the navigation column with Jeddah and the other crew.
I guess I'll shout out to him and be like, "Hey, Bubble Butt!"
For the love of
And then Bottle Brew, he nods over to you, Jeddah, and then walks down to talk to Locke. He's like,
what is this? Who is this? Are we talking to Zula?
No, we're talking to Tony Lyons. He's got a question for you.
Hey, Captain. Not so much as a question, but I did some. Hang on, let me get into a more discreet area.
And then he commits the ultimate phone sin and leaves you guys listening for roughly 15 to 20 seconds as you just hear his footsteps and the sending stone brushing against his pocket as he tries to make his way into a quiet room, makes chatter with people on the way.
Does he fart?
No, Pat, he doesn't. Good question, though. Glad you're really putting your all into this. And you just have to sit and wait until he shuts a door and digs the sending stone out of his pocket, and then heavy breathing. He's like,
okay, listen, it took me a little while to figure out what was going on. Like, what could be so nefarious? What could be so important that the Ghost Riders would neglect the new black tide In service of what? Just harboring around this area in the south of the Badlands. Well, come to find out, Kiso was just one in a long line of Black Tide commanders who was aware of a secret deal with a big shot. You ready for this? There's a fucking dragon right down there.
Oh yeah, that's where we're going.
What? You?
Yeah,
really?
We need to meet the we need to meet the dragon. Yeah.
Also, don't yeah. But don't worry, we killed a god, so we got this.
You did what?
Yeah.
It's been like a month.
Yeah. A lot of stuff's happening.
I mean, there were extenuating circumstances. Like we didn't like stat check the god.
Yeah, it's not like we just murdered a god in cold blood. Okay.
Okay. Listen, Well, one, I'm socially disappointed that I didn't get the thunder for revealing the existence of a dragon, but for whatever reason, part of the Black Tide's operation was essentially running interception. As far as I know, the Mage Lords don't know this guy exists, and it really, really wants to keep it that way. So if you're wondering what could break the Black Tide in half, it turns out those that knew about this side of the deal kind of thought it was important to keep it up, so I gotta warn you.
The Dragon of Balance, huh?
I do not have sway over these particular pirates, and if you are going to meet that dragon, I think you're gonna run into some resistance.
Yeah, for sure. We don't necessarily need sway.
Yeah, this was already a Hail Mary. What's one more?
But maybe, you said you built up a big fleet, right?
A big fleet, I'd say right now, I've got about 48 ships ready to rock. Maybe 30 of them are fully outfitted with plating and weaponry, so I've got something sizable, but if my math is correct, this is not going to be something where you just blow up a ship or two and sail through like you might have done in the old days. This is a full-blown fleet. They're not working with the rest of the tide to spread out their cover. As far as I know, they are concentrated, and I have no way of telling you where they are.
I don't necessarily need you to tell me where they are. What I need you to do is run a little shock and awe, if you know what I'm saying. A little kick down the door and run away. Little ding-dong ditch.
Sorry. I didn't expect you to actually use that in a sentence. That's funny.
The whole thing about fleets and stuff, it sounds like maybe we should have just stopped on land and hoofed it from there. Sounds like the bay is actually well guarded.
No, trust me.
But okay.
This is what I understand.
But yeah, listen, the meat lady's correct. I mean, it's gonna be something. I don't know if they're all in the bay. They could be patrolling, but if yours is at Farpoint, hang on a second. You're what? Maybe like 2 days sail away. If you take a day, beach it on that coast, you could probably make your way over, but it's going to take you twice as long. If we really hoof it, I could have maybe 15, 20 ships down there at the end of day 3, so you'd have to tread some water, but if there's one thing the Black Tide remembers how to do, it's a little shock and awe. I'm realizing how strange that sounds coming from a secretive pirate organization, but we can bring the thunder when we need to.
So what I think I want you to do is I want you to bring the thunder and then make like lightning and split real fast and hope that they chase you.
I would like to speak out really quick before you commit my newly upgraded ship to any particular course of action. You are suggesting that we sail the Liberty to a crowd of, allegedly, 20 to 30 well-armed, well-staffed enemy vessels with the backing of a dragon god.
No.
Okay.
I am suggesting that Tony Lyons here sails his whatever number of ships in and starts attacking them and then immediately turns tail and splits the other way, coercing them into chasing after them, leaving the dragon unattended.
He might not even need to attack them. He could probably just have a ship just there, standing there menacingly, and then he'll give chase. They'll give chase, yeah. I
think we need more than just one ship, because otherwise they probably wouldn't send the whole fleet after. We need fleet on fleet violence here.
You're probably gonna want light, fast ships.
I mean, fleet on fleet violence. If Zula Ragnar is correct, we've got the Mage Lord fleet on our tail from the north, so we might get it whether we want it or not.
Ooh! What if we had the Major Lord fleet get the Major Lord fleet to follow us, and then oh, hey, there's the Ghost Riders. And then there's like two fleets like, what are you doing here? And then they fight each other, and we can just...
What are you doing here?
Hey, what are you doing here?
Hey, I'm walking here.
Hey, he's at the thing.
And then we can just take advantage of the kerfuffle. Yeah.
So earlier, when I said the term ship sandwich, that wasn't an aspirational description.
Oh, we are about to have one hell of a spit roast.
To what? Oh, my God.
Bottle Brew rubs his large shiny forehead and says,
okay, well, this brings up a few logistical concerns, particularly how are we going to get to the attention of the Mage Lord fleet and ensure that they cannot catch up with us? To be honest, frankly,
I got an idea. We could make the Friendship
banger after banger
into a super fast ship. Like the fastest ship we could possibly make the Friendship into. We sail close enough to the Mage Lords to get their attention, and then we become the distraction and sail towards the Black Tide. And then we can't really go too fast, because then they'll just lose our tail, unless we disguise our ship like a Ghost Rider ship.
I mean, at that point, I'll certainly be able to show up in a couple of days for backup and may be able to correspond, but at that point, I can tell you, I don't think the Ghost Riders are going to cede any ground to the Mage Lords, so either everybody's going to die, or we're going to have to really be careful about how we set up this particular party. So I can bring my ships, but I don't know, it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath, if I'm being honest.
Maybe a bloodbath is just what we need. Cult, what do you say?
Hold on. That's not a sentence you want to keep ominous.
Just like cocks his thumbs.
I mean, we got two enemy factions here against us. If we pit them against each other, that's easier pickings for us, you know?
If I'm being honest, there are still folks here within the Black Tide that don't really take the split with the Ghost Riders very well, so... I mean, those are our guys out there, Locke. I don't want to see them all dead. So if you're bringing the Mage Lords, I have to say, we got to make sure we have their back at the end of it. If you can hold off on drawing them straight down to the bay, I think that we might be able to join up with them, sort of keep everyone safe. But it will be shock and awe, as you said.
So are you telling me that if you sail over to the Ghost Riders territory, they're not going to take offense to you being there?
I'm saying that if it's just us coming up, yeah, they're probably going to try to push me back. The split was not amicable, but the enemy of the Mage Lords are always my friend. And if you have the Mage Lord fleet, I have a feeling they'll be amenable. And the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, this might be what I need to bring the Black Tide back together.
So you're saying we unite the Ghost Riders and the rest of the Black Tide against the Mage Lords, and this is the unification moment.
I mean, if the Ghost Riders have been trying to keep this thing a secret, and they see a Mage Lord coming, they'll know the jig is up. At that point, they'll need all the muscle they can get. So, I think you're right.
Can Matt ask a quick lore question here? Okay. Weren't the Mage Lords and the Black Tide working together to imprison people on Farpoint?
The Mage Lords and the Black Tide did have sort of like a financial agreement.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's more like a subcontractor sort of relationship, because that didn't really extend past Farpoint. That was just something where the Black Tide had sway in the islands, and this was just a way for the Mage Lords to say, like, hey, we'll keep the money flowing. Sort of a lot of under-the-table sort of dealings. None of this was really institutionalized, which is why, after you guys destroyed Farpoint, nobody really built it back up. If this was truly institutionalized, they would have just picked a new Far Lord and it would have been restaffed.
So let's go through this step by step, yeah? So, step one. Have the Friendship turn into a ship that's fast and looks like a Ghost Rider ship. Have it sail on within the vision of the Mage Lords, and then have them make chase into the bay where the Ghost Rider fleets are. The two come into contact, and, well, them having a secret they want to keep, and the Mage Lords being the Mage Lords, they're gonna get into a little kerfuffle, right? This will, create a sort of uniting moment for the Ghost Riders and the Black Tides, and gives us the distraction we need to meet the dragon.
Yep.
I mean, that is certainly, it's a lofty goal, but I believe if the timing lines up, it could work.
Bottle Brew looks deeply uncomfortable. Dennis looks expressionless.
I say let's do it.
Yeah, I think what we should probably do is try to leave the Liberty out of this as much as possible.
Oh, thank God.
Maybe park it a little bit behind the line of scrimmage, and then we use the Friendship as a little bit of a fast boat to get in and get out. And that way we don't draw attention to ourselves while there's this big fight going on the outside.
I don't know, this boat is sturdy as ever.
And I pat the railing and it falls off.
Sturdy does not mean fast, though. And if we want to not draw attention to ourselves, we gotta be going in and out lickety-split.
Well, we could use the Tide Pod for that.
The Tide Pod is the Friendship.
Tide Pod's not that fast.
Oh my God. I thought we were talking about the Liberty.
Speed's the name of the game.
Right. But like, we do the fast thing, we get them on the tail, and then like maybe once they're in shot, we switch over to Tide Pod mode and sneak in the cave that way. Yeah, that could be pretty good, you know? Point being is we need a distraction to get inside, and if the plan of pitting three sides against each other is not good because two of the sides are still kind of like friendly but not friendly, you know, like one of them hurt the other one and then they didn't mean to hurt them but they still hurt them and they still feel like they could maybe salvage that relationship. I totally don't have a traumatizing experience that relates to this at all, but you know people get back together, you know, it's totally a thing, right?
Yeah, sure, buddy, that's totally a thing.
Hey, Locke, maybe you and I should have a little conversation after we lock this in. If the schism was caused by them needing to keep this secret, once they realize the secret is out, I think they'll be open to the help. So if you guys can commit to at the end of the second day from now, you can have a Mage Lord squadron approaching that bay, I can have ships there to back them up in the heat of battle. Shock and awe.
I can,
okay, and
I can definitely promise that we will try our best.
I'll have to hold you to that, Mr. Locke.
And by try our best, we mean we will get it done.
Maeve, you're the person who is attuned to the Friendship.
Maeve wasn't a part of this conversation.
Where were you? I know you were on the deck. Did you go anywhere in particular?
Probably below decks to, do my own teenager thing and hang out with Jerry.
Okay, fair enough. So at that, Dennis is going to look around and note, like, perhaps we should cooperate with Maeve to ensure that we can create a convincing facsimile, but I believe the logistics of this plan can be worked out within the next 48 hours.
Per snaps.
And Dennis is going to toss the sending stone to you and walk away. Locke, do you catch it?
I'm not the most dexterous, so let me roll for
it. You can roll for it if you want. I was going to give you a yes or no.
Would this be just a straight dex, or would this be like a sleight of hand? Okay,
that'd be dex.
It's the same, doesn't matter. I got an 11.
I rolled lower than that. So
let's go.
Yes, you fumble it, you catch it. And then you are left holding the disembodied voice of Tony Lyons as Bottle Brew steps away to brief individual members of the crew. Kalt and Jeddah, do you do anything in particular?
Kalt snaps into focus again.
I'm sorry, so we're blowing everything up. Yes, you wanted me to kill?
No.
Kill.
We are
kill.
distracting. We are distracting
with murder.
And then going inside the cave to confront the dragon one-on-one. Okay?
Yeah, the Ghost Riders would be doing the killing, really. Our job is to actually not kill.
What is the plan when we encounter said prime dragon?
This is what I was about to ask, yeah, because to be honest, I just know it's a dragon. I don't, you guys apparently have more information than I do.
When have we ever gone into anything with the plan on how to actually confront?
We did just spend quite a bit of time...
Shush.
Okay.
Shush.
Okay.
We spend time on the setup. We wing it once we get in. That is our modus operandi.
I'm feeling less comfortable with this situation.
It's worked for years, okay?
Okay, no, just one thing. Like, this dragon...
I mean, did it work for years? Because you got caught, on the mainland by the Mage Lords, double dipping. I saw that and I tried to escape too, and I got swept up onto a big freaking storm with a kraken and a skin of my teeth. Listen, winging it has not gone particularly well for either of us.
All I'm saying is that dragon has the same voice as the Far Lord. What are the chances that those are the same things? You know, what if the Far Lord was like a manifestation of this dragon the entire time, and we just made him small and then blew him off a ledge?
Are you saying that the operation at Farpoint was not just an agreement with the Mage Lords, but instead a more calculated sort of cover or diversion
for
these Ghost Riders?
Wait, where's Bait? Bait had some beef with this Far Lord. Could we contact Bait?
I think we got enough beef with the Gabagool.
Does anyone have the message spell, the sending spell?
Does sending work on the same plane?
Sending, you can actually do a different plane of existence, but there is a possibility of failure.
Does anybody here have the sending spell or scry or something that would allow them to potentially reach Bait in Nar-Enial?
I ain't got shit.
I do not. I have the idea, but not the ability.
Would Kalt realize that? That you know what could be done, but that it's outside your skill, or is that an above board meta thing?
Oh no, I mean I think I can't remember what exactly spells wizards get, but we've heard and seen sending be used before, so I would think that would exist in some way or shape, fashion. Yeah.
Okay. I mean at that point, none of you have a way of trying to reach Bait, but upon looking around, you notice that Maeve is uncharacteristically absent. And that the plan you've locked in seems to have been done without the awareness of the person that can actually transform the friendship.
I'm going to go find Maeve. I feel like I can assume she's hanging out with Jerry.
Probably smoking cigarettes and listening to rock music.
You make music
in this world, rock music.
Yeah, no, that was my question.
In this world,
I'm used to people using idiophones and things like that, but a rock sounds particularly, how should I say, rudimentary.
Oh, it's quite
to an enlightened like myself.
I mean, actually, with a properly carved rock, you can actually get some really neat sounds out of it. Anyways, I'm gonna go find Maeve. Maeve, I need you to make a boat for us.
All right, Mr. Locke. Like I said, 48 hours. If you can get that going, we should touch base again right before then. I'll let you know the status of my ships. It's good to talk to you, friend.
Okay. Yeah, it was great talking to you too. Stay cool.
We work on the ocean. Pretty chilly most of the time.
That was a metaphor.
See? You always had the sort of social upper hand here.
And Locke, over this whole thing, the script has been sort of flipped on you a little bit. You were expecting Tony to be upset, but it seems Tony is also trying to, retain or gain your approval through this whole conversation. So there is certainly a sense of that he has not talked down to you at a single point on this call, but when you hang up here and pocket the sending stone, you can tell Tony is in a similar position to you. That's not lost upon you. So the call ends. You'll reconnect soon enough, but Jeddah heads downstairs to look for Maeve. What do Locke and Kalt do?
Do you, need advice on being a dad?
What advice could you give me? Jerry's a full-grown zombie.
Well, I mean, he does seem to be trying to reach out to you in certain situations, and then you kind of just blow him off.
People keep on mentioning this. I have been around Jerry the entire time. I have asked him to come on certain adventures, just because he has not said single words to me.
But have you asked him what he wants to do?
I mean, I just assume he just does it.
No, I mean, a lot of the times they feel insecure in what they want to do, and they look for approval before they agree to do it, because they think maybe what they want to do is wrong for some reason, and there's nobody who has taught them what wrong or right is.
Well, wrong is whatever I say is wrong, and right is whatever I say is right, obviously.
You see, that's kind of the problem, is if you just willy-nilly dictate what is good and what is bad without allowing Jerry to make the decisions for himself, or at least explaining the logic behind why those things are good or bad. It just makes it hard to trust you, and it makes it hard to come to you when he has a real problem that's ruminating in his noggin, you know. So just try to be a little bit more inquisitive on what's going on in his life and less bossy, okay?
Fine. And he walks away. Jerry, how is your skin sagging today?
Locke, do you follow?
I'm not gonna follow. I'm just gonna look at him go away and hear that and just kind of shake my head and laugh and then go back to doing what I was doing.
Sounds good. Below decks on the Liberty, Maeve, what are you doing?
I think I'm hanging out in a hammock, thinking about simpler times when there was a little cat crawling around and I was kind of making it zoom around the lower decks, kind of looking over and seeing Jerry sitting in a corner playing with rocks, trying to make music.
You do that, and your wistfulness is interrupted by the clomping footsteps of an excitable Jeddah coming downstairs, looking for you anxiously.
I kicked the door open. Maeve, holy fuck, we have an idea. You need to make us a fast boat, a real fast boat.
Nice to see you too, Jeddah. Don't mind me. I'm just recovering from the trauma of being dragged away from my family and then returning to the island where I was kept prisoner as a child, all while becoming older and somehow not really being older in the matter of seconds. It's good to see you too.
Don't worry, that's all gonna get replaced with new traumas, because we're gonna have the Mage Lords on our ass.
Okay, well, we've done worse.
Yes,
have we done worse? I don't think we've done worse.
Oh, I mean, we've done. Well, I'm sure worse has been done. I'm gonna say it's a go. All right, see ya, Maeve. You agreed to it. No going back now. Yo, Locke, plans go.
.com.
Bam. Where am I?
Bam. I think
it's gonna be bad today.
Wham, bam, slap a clam.